Hello, my family and friends. So, we are on another episode on Monday. Actually, it is Labor Day, and unfortunately, hubby had to work. So, we are going to be we've been making for the last couple days different types of dips. We're getting ready for football season and the fall. This is my last one. To me, is the ultimate. For any of you who love to go to the Mexican restaurants and get that salsa and those chips, and it's that kind of, you just keep eating but can never get enough of it, this recipe I'm about to make with you is one of those that just keeps on, and it's amazing. Before you know it, the bowl is gone. So ours is gone and we need some more. So I'm going to make that with you. Like I said, we have some amazing dishes coming up. It is hot right now still for us. Unfortunately, we're still in the lower 90s, but we're going to be reaching the 80s before long. Personally, we cannot wait. So, tonight I'm actually having, we had rosemary focaccia, and what I do is I freeze my bread and use it as we go along until I'm out, and then I make some more. And then we are actually going to have some garlic parmesan butter beans. Instead of using the cannellinis, I'm using the butter beans. So that's what's for supper tonight. So, we are, just to let you know, my name is Carrie. We are a Mediterranean homestead, and we make all different kinds of healthier foods, whole foods, and we choose better choices. So it'll be a lot of homemade on this channel as well. And we will find substitution for things that we cannot find. Now, I will tell you this recipe calls for granulated sugar, but I will be using a sugar substitute. So, without my rambling on, let's get started. Okay, for this one, you're just going to need a simple food processor. That is it. So we're going to start out with two 14-ounce cans of diced tomatoes, any kind you want. I'm actually using 1 can of diced tomatoes, and you want these drained. And I'm going to be finishing off. Now, I'm going to be using the San Marzanos. These are not diced, but they're going to get mixed up in here anyways, so it isn't really going to make much of a difference. So I'm just going to add what was left of another recipe to finish off these San Marzanos in here. And if I need this thicker, I've got some of that sauce left over. And I need a can of diced tomatoes with chili, peppers, the green chilies. Just add that whole thing. In other words, a can of Rotel. You can add, at this point, some diced jalapenos. To me, it gets spicy enough with the greens, but if I want to, I can add some jalapenos to this. I need a half a red onion, just roughly chopped. So we're going to add that in here. Just like so. I have 1 clove of garlic we're going to throw in here. We need about 1/4 cup of cilantro, or to your preference, basically. I like cilantro, so I'm just going to add a good handful in there. Just like so. Some people, I understand, they don't like cilantro, and I get that, but it's up to you, y'all. It does enhance its flavor a little bit the way it's supposed to. Yeah, I just added. That's more than 1/4 cup, but I like it, y'all. Let's see here. I need juice of 1 lime, which would be approximately about a tablespoon. And I don't have fresh lime, so I'm using lime juice. I need a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt and pepper. And you know I'll have the recipe for you. I always do. And I need a half a teaspoon of granulated sugar, which I done told you. I am just using this to substitution. All that's for is to help balance out the acidity from all the tomatoes in it. Now all we're going to do is pulse this, y'all, until we get a nice consistency. I will show you what we need at this point, or what it's supposed to look like. This is all the ingredients, and that's it. So I'm going to lock this in place, turn this on, lock our lid, and I'm going to pulse this. Now, because this makes a noise, I'll be back and show you what it should look like. And that's it, y'all. Here, this is our, look at how beautiful this salsa is. This stuff is perfect to put on a chip. I don't have a chip with me, but I'm going to use a spoon so you can to represent the chip to see what you're looking at. Just like you would at the restaurant. Now this has plenty of heat with that one can, but if you're the one type of person that loves that extra heat, by all means add jalapenos or anything that you want to it. But it's just that simple. This is the recipe. Throw it all in a food processor, puree it up just like this, and bam, put it on your table and you're ready to go. It takes no more than, if anything, 5 minutes, and that's basically, you got your prepping with chopping in that too, which is not a whole lot in that either. So you got a 5-minute dip, you got somebody coming for the game. There it is, y'all. Okay, y'all, and that's going to conclude all of our dips so far, unless I come up with something new or see something that really catches my eye. That's pretty much the simple of all of them. I like the simplicity of things, so that way most people are in a hurry, but I'm learning that being in a hurry, you can miss a lot of things. And basically I've been doing the same thing. You know, I keep this channel. I did have to ask, what am I looking for? I had to ask myself, what did I want from this channel? And honestly, y'all, I created this because this is where God led me. He is the one that led me to the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to help my husband, to help myself, and improve my health, because I was headed to a very bad place. My husband and I, over the years of truck driving, we have seen some pretty devastating things. And so I'll explain to you why I decided to do this thing with the Mediterranean and to help my diabetic husband. You know, over the years, y'all, you can see some things that can devastate you to no end. We have known friends who are no longer here. A lot of them were truckers. We've known truck stops that we've gone to, and we would see coroners, ambulance, police, fire departments, where somebody had just lost their loved one on the road and he was far away from home. Y'all, this is enough to mess with you. And honestly, there's not enough good places to eat out on the road. And then a lot of it had to do with our own choices. In the end of all of it, our choices were leading like the rest of them. We were heading into some pretty bad things. We started gaining a massive amount of weight. We had high blood pressure. My husband ended up with diabetes, and it just started escalating. So we decided to do something about our health. Now, I didn't know what to do, so I had to ask God for help. And honestly, I'm telling you, the truth is, He's the one that led me to everything that I know. Which is the reason I started this channel, because I had asked God a long time ago, 4 years ago, next month will be an anniversary. And I asked God, what is my purpose for still being here? And so it came down to it, which honestly I could not believe, that why of all places YouTube. It's not an easy task to do. This is the most hardest thing I've ever did in my entire life, and still doing today. Nonetheless, it is His will, not mine, to be done. And so I had asked myself, we are now 2 years later, and I had to ask, is this where I'm still supposed to be? Because things were not working the way I expected. But see, that's the problem. It was me. What was I wanting from this? What was I expecting from this? And why am I doing this? Well, when I first started this, y'all, I'm going to start getting chills. When I first started this, it was a journey that I was led on to, not for my own self, for my own sake, but it was for God. Because see, He loves and cares about each and every one of you, including your health. Makes sense? So He started me on doing this channel, and I'm like, okay, I had no clue what was going to happen. Now in 2 years we have grown so beautifully, and I have made the most amazing friends I could have ever met in my entire life. We have formed the most beautiful family I have ever seen, the most loving folks I have ever witnessed in my life. And I do not regret this journey whatsoever. And I do plan on going further with this. This channel isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's going to improve. But I came across something that was meant to be on purpose. You know, I've always known that things happen for a reason, and the situation with us is my husband and I were enjoying some places, including Ripley's, and we ended up with a off-the-wall side track of doing something we ain't never done, as we went to a movie. But in this journey that we went on Saturday, left a message for me. And I get it. There was one question, and still to this day, this was Saturday, and every day since then, every hour since then, I've even woke up to this question: are you a fountain or are you a drain? Now, when I hear this, I know it's something that God is speaking to me. So I actually had to pursue a little bit deeper to find out what it was. Now, I heard bits and pieces of it, where it came from. And I'm not going to tell you where it came from because I don't want to spoil things. But it was the question that really rang deep in my heart. Am I a fountain or am I a drain? So, what did that mean? Now I'm going to give you a basic description of what that meant. To be a fountain and not a drain. What does it mean to be a fountain and not a drain? It means to be someone, this is the fountain side, it means someone who gives more than they take. To be a fountain of life is to offer grace, generosity, inspiration in a self-consumed world. It is to be a force of good in a world that desperately needs it. Y'all, did God not put me in the most perfect position right there? He gave me all this wisdom and knowledge. He gave me the provisions to be able to do everything that I am doing on this channel. This was not from me. Y'all, He brought you to me. And He had formed this amazing family for a purpose. And so I am going to continue to keep giving and giving to as much as it takes me to do it, no matter what the consequences, no matter what happens. I'm still going to keep giving, because this is what God wanted me to do. I need this. My husband needs this. So many other people need this because they don't have anybody else. I didn't. Y'all, I had God. I didn't have anybody to really help lead me and guide me. The medical field did not help me. I had been in that position of overweight for over 20-something years. And it just escalated. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody said where I was heading, up until I started doing something about it. And then they started saying where I was heading. Well, it was almost a little bit too late at that point. That scared me. And then my husband. Now, what did it mean to be a drain? Now this one here, y'all, this is my reality. To be a drain on humanity is to be constantly negative, pessimistic, and cynical. It is to suck life out of others or those around them. They are embodiments of scarcity, anger, and fear. To be a drain on humanity is to extinguish the light of the world. And that makes absolute sense. It steals, kills, and destroys from you and everybody else around you because you just drain the living life, soul, spirit, everything out of somebody. Do I want to be a fountain or do I want to be a drain? And I choose to be a fountain. I am going to continue to keep giving on this channel to the best of my ability until I can't give. And then I'll still find something to give. Right now, I give a lot of hug to each and every one of you because some of you are coming to me and I can almost see your tears. And if you really want to know, when I read your stories, when I read your testimonies, I cry with you, literally. My husband even asked me, "Are you okay?" Because I do cry with you. I know that pain. I know that hurt. I know that what am I going to do feeling. I know that how do I fix this? I don't want to be like this no more. I know this. And I feel so much better. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm getting older. There's nothing you can do about everything. But for the most part, when you can do something, it reminds me of the serenity prayer I once knew as I was becoming recovery. Father, grant me the serenity of things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I can change what I have done. And there are certain things that happen in life that you just can't change because it just happens. Then you got to deal with it. Now, I have to deal with the cholesterol issues, and some of it I can fix myself, but a lot of it was also hereditary, but I can learn to maintain it. When it came to my weight, that is something I can absolutely do because I'm the one that put it on me. I can be very conscious about what I eat and what is better for me. I can minimize, maybe not totally eliminate, but minimize some of the medication and really get into what am I taking and what is it for. What is the long haul in it? And when I hear all of these side effects to a medication, y'all, that is pretty scary. So what can I do to avoid it? And if I can't avoid it, then help me be in a point where I don't have to keep relying on it so much to where I have to get higher up. Try to help me maintain. I ask God to help me in all of these, just like I'm asking Him right now to maintain my weight, because I do not want to go past the threshold. I do not need to be, but I don't need to be underneath anymore either. I just need to be a healthy person. I'm not looking to be a supermodel. I just want to be healthy. Growing my own food was the best thing that I could ever done. It not only brings food into my table, y'all, it doesn't only put food in my jars, but it brings me peace of mind and serenity because it's something that I can do that's in a positive way. To grow a plant and take that final snip at the end off of that harvest is the most prideful, wonderful thing you can ever do because you started this from a seed. You babied it, you watered it, you fed it, you took care of it, and now you get to use it in your cooking. Do you know how good that feels to know that you created and did all of this? It's more than just going, we can go to a grocery store, but when you grow something yourself, it's an accomplishment. And it's one that I did. I stuck with it. And sometimes, some of this I still am. I mean, here's something else, y'all. Seeds. Seeds that's not known of here much in the United States. It is mostly overseas in the Mediterranean areas. Y'all, I'm growing Jalapeño peppers. This is amazing. And what do I do from this? Check this out. Do you see this? That's Jalapeño pepper. That is dried Jalapeño pepper. It's humidity in here, and yes, I do need to put things in here for the moisture, but it's not moisture. But look, that's Jalapeño pepper, y'all. And it's not a whole lot. This is 2 peppers, so I get 2 more peppers. 2 more peppers. It's an accomplishment. Now this is something that I didn't have in the first place. And can I grow it? Yes. Thank you to my dear brother to give me these seeds to have this opportunity to grow something not known here in the United States as much, especially in my area, and yet have the opportunity to accomplish something I've never seen before. To be a part of the Mediterranean I never got to see before. And this is amazing. Now the enhancement in the spice from these are way different from what you buy. I will tell you, these are a bit more spicier than the ones you get from the store, and they are a much bolder flavor, but they are super good, and a little bit of this will go a long way. And I still have more to grow. So this is why I do what I do. This is why I share what I share. Yes, I am very proudly a Mediterranean homestead, and I will continue to keep sharing because this is where God wants me to be. He brought me down here for a reason, and you know, sometimes, like I said, things just happen. Now, whether 4 years ago was supposed to happen or whether it was something that just happened, either way it goes, I've dealt with it. I did not ball myself up in a corner and allow the world to take me down. I'm a strong, bold, and I've never, ever said this about myself, ever. Y'all, I've come a long way. I've come a very long way. I am going to be, in a couple months, 58 years old, and I am a strong, beautiful woman. And for me to say that, if you really knew me, you would understand what that just meant when I said that. I have a very powerful God, and I love each and every one of you. I'm going to let this video go from right now, but with the question, are you a fountain or a drain? I love you all, and until next time, much love from Parton's Heritage Homestead.